Hey there, welcome to episode 85 of the Quaggling Sand audio program. I am your host, Dan Hugo. I'm recording this at just after noon, Wednesday, June 25, 2025. Today's topic is birthdays, especially since I just had another one. You can't stop it, they just keep coming. If you're not familiar with the Quaggling Sand audio program, this is an audio essay channel. It's mostly solo. There's not been a guest yet. I don't know if that trend would change unless somebody wants to come on and talk about a story, maybe their own, maybe how one of theirs and one of mine somehow intermingle or intersect, or who knows. But for the most part, these are audio essays about this, that, and or the other thing through the years. And as I just said, there's been yet another one wrapped up. They may be interesting or informative. They may entertain. They may enlighten. Who knows? Who knows? Why do people listen to these? It's hard to say, but as long as you are getting something out of it, so much the better. By the way, quaggling sand is a technical term I coined when I was very young. I think I was probably 4 or 5, but maybe younger. Who knows? Who keeps track of these things when we get older? The term you are probably more familiar with is pins and needles, but quaggling sand, the actual correct term. Circulation, if I can say that correctly. Circulation returns to perhaps a hand or a foot if you've been sitting or laying on it, or who knows what. Who knows what you're up to. Quaggling sand. If you are not familiar, check it out. Sit on your hand, give it a while, see what happens. Hopefully wherever you found this audio program, you're able to locate the episode description, which contains the show notes, including a summary that I will read to you and some links. These are the same links from last time. There's no particular birthday link to include here. The links are shameless self-promotion links, so I think it takes about 3 minutes. I think I timed that one time. We'll see if you want to skip over that. I just had another one over the weekend. Why not reflect on some of the more memorable anniversaries before none of them are? Because my memory will fade. buymeacoffee.com/Dan Hugo and the Buy Me an Update audio program, available exclusively at buymeacoffee.com/Dan Hugo/posts. Buy Me a Coffee profile page has links to my various audio programs, various projects, various affiliate links for my favorite coffee beans, and a few other things. Some biographical information at the top and a link to that Buy Me an Update audio program, which publishes every Monday. It's 5 minutes or less. A quick rundown on the previous week's audio programs and any news or announcements upcoming. By the way, any funds sent through either buymeacoffee.com or the next one, Ko-fi.com, will be put towards coffee or coffee accessories. These are what power these various endeavors. You're under no obligation to do so, however. This is all free. Ko-fi.com/Dan Hugo. That's ko-fi.com. The hyphen is next to the 0 on your keyboard. .com. That's where you left it. /Dan Hugo. And the Coffee Solo audio program published whenever. Topic could be whatever. Ko-fi.com/Dan Hugo/posts. It's available right there on Ko-fi.com. That was less than 3 minutes, I think. Maybe I'm getting quicker. I don't really have that scripted. I just say it, however it comes out. Again, no obligation to spend any money, but I do use those platforms to engage with people without having an actual website, which I will get around to, but you're not here to look at a website. You're here to listen to my story about birthdays. So let's get started so we can get finished. The foundation. First, the birthday is on June 21st. That was Saturday this year. It is often the first day of summer, otherwise known as the summer solstice. Though I believe for 2025, the solstice was actually on June 20th. No matter, the birthday is always on the same day. I cannot say that I track astrology so much, but I do know that I'm on the Gemini Cancer cusp. Some people argue that I am a Cancer, but I stepped on this one already, but I am not always sure they're speaking about astrology. I think I am more Gemini, but I have not thought about this in maybe a couple decades now, so I say whatever and whatever. Call me what you will, whether it's an astrological sign or anything else. My sister was born on the second birthday, my second birthday, in fact, and I often quip that I asked for a puppy. I was only 2, so I did not actually ask for a puppy, but don't think about it too much. This year, she asks me to confirm my age I suggested she could take her own age and then add 2. This will probably come in handy much later if I find myself forgetting such things, so I can just ask her. The early years, the first birthday that probably noteworthy, I guess, that I really remember, I was probably 5 years old. My sister was 3. She can check my math on that later. And as would be the trend for a few years, probably several years really, my mother prepared 2 parties with separate tables outside for various attendees and, of course, separate cakes and whatnot. Maintaining 2 separate identities in this way would be important into the future. I believe it was also this 5th birthday, the final birthday for which I would be enrolled at Berkeley Elementary around the corner from our home in New Milford, New Jersey. The awful Mrs. Urban, my teacher for both kindergarten and the part of first grade for which I was enrolled there before we moved. I think we moved in April or so, April or May, end of April. But for kindergarten, my final full year, Mrs. Urban was doling out birthday spankings through the year. I don't even know if these are legal. And in New Jersey, the school year was ending that year on June 22nd. It would typically end in June, in mid to late June. It's the nature of the beast. Lucky me. She was not a great teacher. So that's all I have to say about that. Luckily, that 6th birthday, so 4 for my sister, if I did that correctly. When we moved to Arizona, my mom made 2 cakes. These I remember as being a truck of some sort with round licorice wheels. The licorice kind of, they look like little donut-shaped toroids with kind of sugar on a licorice jelly kind of thing. And my sister's cake was an actual doll with a cake dress. I don't know that we had much of a friend base yet, having just moved there, so I remember this being a small affair in our temporary apartment before the new house was finished. That would end up taking longer than planned. We had the same birthday. I don't know if I mentioned that. In the elementary school years that we had the same birthday was often a topic of discussion, though brief, luckily. I don't remember having actual birthday parties or focusing too much on the birthday thing during the elementary years. We mostly went to some restaurant and got some version of a birthday song sung by the staff, cake, ice cream, whatever, the usual. With school in Arizona ending around Memorial Day instead of right after my birthday, I guess our birthday. To avoid summer classroom heat, most likely, there was a little celebration oriented along those lines. So there was no classroom kerfuffle over my turning another year older. We did go to Bobby McGee's one time in Phoenix there, which was known for being a little bit off. Kind of like Fridays, TGI Fridays before TGI Fridays was around. I think there was only one. There may have been maybe 2 locations. Fun fact, Chad Sikora was a classmate of mine in whatever, 2nd, 3rd, 4th grade or something. And his uncle owned that restaurant. They sung a variation on the Production by Street. They sung a variation of the staff birthday song. They doubled it, so 2 birthdays, two songs mixed together. Happy birthday to you. I think there was a beep beep in there somewhere. And so on. Somewhere I still have the ceramic bathtub in which my beverage was served. I don't think they served any sort of birthday or ice cream or birthday cake or ice cream or traditional birthday victuals in it. Just a soft drink. Once my sister headed off to a different junior high school, so grade 7, the days of us being connected with that additional birthday detail faded. She was no longer Dan's sister, but her own person with her own birthday. And it became far less likely that there would be much crossover. Different friend groups, different geographies around the Phoenix area, and so on. The summer birthday factor still weighed in as well, so nothing in particular stands out in my memory in this middle time. Just birthdays, whatever. Getting older, sort of. Once I entered high school, and again, my sister would go to a different high school. So I went to Sunny Slope High School. She went to Apollo High School. I made various friends across all 4 of the class years. So I was, as a freshman or first year, I had friends in the upper classes. This is probably due to the fact that I took ROTC, Air Force Junior ROTC, in fact. So I interacted with a lot of the upper class people, and I was in an advanced math class, so all of my classmates were juniors, I believe, when I was a freshman. So that's the way it goes. Summer in general was more of a movie-going, mall-lapping sort of thing. So we'd go to the mall, go hang out because air conditioning, go to midnight movies because it's cooler at midnight than it is during the day. So doing something in particular on the 24th, and I had older friends, so they had cars and whatnot. Doing something in particular on the 21st was not difficult. It's just a day in June, but not particularly varied. I would work in the mall at some point at McDonald's. It was actually the summer after my second year of high school. So there were some additional characters in the mix, my coworkers, my McDonald's crewmates, but mostly midnight movies, Denny's, Metro Center, TGI Fridays a couple times, or not a couple of times, like we'd go to TGI Fridays. So just the places we hung out would be we can just stop by there because we know people that work there and birthday and etc. Other such time sinks. So not particularly overwhelming or noteworthy. Fun, fine, good, nothing wrong. But my final summer before I headed off to college, freshly graduated from what are the best days of our lives until we discover otherwise the next day, was spent with Pete, Jerry, and John, and nothing special as usual. I haven't been John is dead. I hadn't been in touch with Jerry since probably after my birthday. He disappeared. And then Pete, haven't talked to him since I ran into him when I was in Phoenix when I first moved back, 2001. But so yeah, best days of our lives until the next day. Now, obviously, turning 21 is a big deal. That would be the summer after my junior year at Harvey Mudd College, and I happened to have secured a summer job working in the engineering stockroom for that summer. It was considered a great job since we were working for and with Matt Masterson, Scottish in every sense of the word, including some entertaining humor. Matt got me a bottle of Drambuie, since I was one of those odd ones who liked a rusty nail now and then. So Drambuie from Matt, he actually would come by kind of at the end of the workday on my birthday, but did not hang around for the actual birthday celebration. Now, during the first year, we had the Mount Baldy earthquake, which had damaged, among other things, Liquorama, a place revered by those in West Orm. It was where we would get our party accessories, our 18, 20, 25 kegs, who knows, and have a big fundraising college parties. We headed over there after the earthquake, the Rama Drama team, and I've talked about this before. We got in the news, local college students help small business recover from earthquake, etc. We helped with some cleanup, and from then on, our dorm t-shirts were considered valid identification for the purposes of purchasing products there. This was not to be made so public, and which we did not. When I ordered my keg, though, a keg of Newcastle, at the time one of my favorite beers, and a beer which was always unfortunately shipped in clear glass bottles for some odd reason, but the keg would be not clear and so would not be skunky due to exposure to sunlight. As I was checking out at Liquorama, we went to go pick it up the day before, and I was wearing my most recent Webster shirt, Wes's Rescue the Rest. They, and I believe it was the proprietors, June and her husband, I don't remember his name, and no, it was not Wally. They asked what the occasion was, although maybe their son was named Wally, I can't remember. They asked what the occasion was for such an extravagant purchase, since we normally were getting kegs of Meisterbrow and Miller Genuine Draft and whatnot. What was the occasion as I was checking out? And I said, tomorrow is my 21st birthday. They rushed us through the line, got the keg out into the car, and wished us well. It was entirely possible other customers were not aware of our special arrangements and certainly should not be allowed to ask any questions. At midnight, with the keg cooling for later on the 21st, so it was just as the clock turned the 21st of June, we did the traditional trip to Ted's Highbrow in where was that? Was it in Laverne or something? It was down the street from Harvey Mudd College in a different city than Claremont. It was a dive bar where all West Orm 21st birthdays were celebrated, although a summer birthday where people were actually around was not so common. I recall sitting in a booth with all the summer student workers. There was probably like eight of us, maybe 10. I don't know. There's a lot of chemistry people. There was a sing-along with Tom Petty's Free Fallin' on the jukebox. And at some point, someone's elbow, I have nicked, but it's knocked. So silly. They were basically cocking their arm to punch someone, when the elbow flew back, flew into the head of one Bill Johnson, who was sitting on a bar stool at the end of our full booth. So he was actually close to the action. We were witnessing the very beginning, the first punch thrown in a real live bar fight in a dive bar for my birthday. So that's my mom calling. I'm going to call her later. Sorry, Mom. So they knocked into Bill's head, and he kind of got, I don't know if he fell off the bar stool, but he definitely knew that he got hit by something. We all saw it. It seems a real bar fight did kick off. It would eventually move outside with real punching, like serious. Like you'd think there was some Hollywood cameras rolling, people rolling around the parking lot, speaking of. And one of the staff, because we were just kind of watching, this was all bonus. One of the staff leaned over as we were watching all this to tell me that a few of the people involved were off-duty police. I told her it was my 21st birthday at midnight, and then I had asked for a puppy. But we got this. The Newcastle was more relaxed later that same day, just more of a hangout. No fights ensued. The keg was good. Vegas and more. When my sister turned 21, and I believe this was when I was turning 23 at that point, we had a family trip to Vegas. We stayed at the Barbary Coast, today known as the Cromwell, and we were all legal. Big news. One of my college friends working in Silicon Valley got me 2 little books. Not quite the for dummies, but they were just little sort of pocket pamphlets, really. One for craps and one for blackjack. This was my first trip to Vegas. To help with my first visit to casinos, to play those games. My sister picked up the craps book, flipped through it, and proceeded to win a couple $100 at the craps table at the Barbary Coast. Quick study, I guess. I have done pretty well with craps in my travels, though I am not particularly fond of gambling, so I don't have many opportunities to lose or to win. I leave that, as I always tell people, thank you for helping to keep our income taxes at 0 here in Nevada. This was the final event, if you like, with regard to the simultaneous birthdays. My sister would be off to law school. I was working in Silicon Valley in those interesting early years of the dot-com boom. So we wouldn't really have a joint birthday until I moved back to Phoenix for a couple of years after the dot-com bust. I think we went to Claim Jumper once. Since those days, I cannot say that I'm really into birthdays. My time in Silicon Valley, both times actually, included the odd birthday bash, mostly because I would be a regular at a neighborhood bar, Fibbers or Paul and Harvey's or wherever. Maybe some coworkers would want to do something when I would work in companies as a Ute. So I'd be more inclined to, oh, hey, it's your birthday. Oh, let's go do something, because they wanted to get out of the house. And I'm like, yeah, sure. But I never really requested or expected such things. Mostly birthdays for the normal people, I think, unless you're a celebrity or a celebrity, if you like, or if you're particularly wealthy and you want to get some press out of it, or maybe you want to have a military parade or something silly. But for the most part, normal people, birthdays are kind of performative later. It's a reason to celebrate something that is largely inconsequential. When you really think about it, having a birthday requires no actual skill other than surviving. And while in some cases that is worthy of celebration, mostly not so much. It was Patton Oswalt, comedian, according to most, not according to some, whom you may or may not like. It was Patton Oswalt who suggested that after 21, birthday should come at a decade pace. That is a birthday celebration at 30, 40, 50, and so on. I think this is a good idea. Maybe the only noteworthy birthday over the recent decade spent in Ireland when I was working for Intel. A friend of mine from Italy, also his name is Daniele, the Italian Dan, happened to be also in Ireland. He actually lived in Ireland, but I think he was traveling. But he happened to be around. So he actually did not live in Dublin, though. So I was in Dublin, to be more precise. So wherever he was normally and whipping through the world's offerings, he said, "Oh, I'm in town. Let's have dinner." So we had dinner at a really good Italian restaurant in Dublin. because that's what he's good at. No matter where he is, he knows where. I used to say of Daniele, if you have plans and you find out what Daniele's plans are, you should cancel your plans and go where he's going, because he always knew. Like 100% success rate. It's a little eerie. But this was something different. And I think if you're going to do something for your birthday, it should be at least memorable. I have pictures of our meeting, our dinner, and whatnot. It was really good. The food was amazing, to be honest. It was great. My birthday this year was boring, if you're wondering, which I actually prefer. I have already mentioned previously, it was 1 month ago yesterday, the 24th. So whatever a month is previous, it was a Tuesday morning a month ago. When I had my mishap, I injured my right leg. It's been a daily sort of improvement at a comfortable, but not really quick, but that's fine, pace. So every day it's a little bit easier to walk and get around. I was never not ambulatory, but it was profoundly painful on that first day to stand up and to move around. So now at this point, yeah, it's come a long way. So if for my birthday I received some sort of accelerated healing, I'll take it. But for the most part, I wasn't planning on going anywhere. I would like to have been traveling somewhere maybe interesting, although recently that may not be as fun as it once was, just for a variety of reasons. Global geopolitics, airport chaos, rule changes. To be honest, my passport needs to be renewed now. I didn't go out for a big shindig of any kind. I guess I could probably have gone out somewhere, maybe. I still know a couple of people, but I'm really not so much in the when I used to travel for Intel all the time, when I was in town, I would go out and about and, oh, Dan's in town. Oh, Dan, the Intel guy and all that. So it was a little bit more fun, I guess. Transactional fun, not actual life-changing good times. Didn't really meet anybody amazing. I met normal people, that is. I'm not diminishing that, but it wasn't like, oh, I was out at a bar in Vegas for my birthday and I met the king or whatever, right? No, he's at a NATO meeting now. So I didn't go out for a big shindig. Didn't even go out for a little shindig. Didn't go to Denny's and get a free whatever. Didn't go to McDonald's. Didn't go to anywhere to get a promotional anything for my birthday. I did renew my driver's license here in Nevada, which was expiring. It would have expired on the 21st. I was able to do it online. Initially, I was going to have to go to the DMV, which is only a celebration getting the first driver's license, but any renewals after that, or any reason to go to DMV is usually in no way a celebration. So, but I skipped that. I was able to avoid that. Or I think so. They accepted my payment. So we'll see. I should be getting my license either later this week or sometime next week. So we'll see how that went. So I didn't get to take a new picture. So I still look like I'm probably, I can't remember. It's a real ID. So what is it? 3 years, 5 years, 3 years? No, it must be 5 years. It's not near me, so I can't check. But so it's a younger me in the photo, and I didn't take a new one. So okay, when I do get my passport renewed, hopefully sometime soon, I'll take a new picture, and we'll see where that takes me, literally. In the meantime, yeah, birthdays. I'm sure I missed or basically forgot some other eventful variation on a theme. If I happen to be in Phoenix, I think we end up going to Picasso's because they have gluten-free menu items and their food is reasonably good. Or we do something at my parents' house, or my sister might do something at her house. People don't like to come to Vegas. Kind of overpriced in general. It's so much easier for one person to go to the Phoenix area than 4 people or more to come to the Vegas area. So I understand that. So really, there isn't much in the way of celebratory plans for birthdays anymore. I just don't really think about it so much. I would rather do something fun or interesting with or without other people on any particular day and not have to somehow coordinate whatever that might be on a particular day. This is generally true. I think calendars are the wrong way to go about contacting or staying in touch with. I received a couple of emails or messages from people. Oh, hey, happy birthday. If you only contact people, this is like the holiday card list. If you only contact people because your calendar tells you to, I think that's a problem. So in that regard, I'm not a fan of birthdays. I'd rather just talk to people whenever, not checking the calendar first. There's something to be said for kind of skipping over age references in general. I think that tends to allow people to prejudge too much. We hear it all the time with Gen Xers and Boomers and Gen Z and Millennials and now the Alphas and whatever. Yeah, I don't know. Birthdays are not that magical. Obviously, culture and the setting of life at the time is more interesting. But I don't know. I think as far as I'm concerned, if I don't have another birthday, I'm fine. I would rather just do things when they are doable and not wait for June 21st at any particular juncture. So that's going to end it for today. It's less than a half hour, so aren't you lucky? Probably be back next week with something more interesting. It was timely. Birthday. There you go. All right, take it easy. I'm sure you're wishing me a happy birthday. No need to check your calendar. It's already passed. You missed it. Maybe next year. But you know what? You can say, hey, how's it going? Anytime you want. You don't have to wait for June 21st. 21st. You can hear my voice is celebrating already. So my voice has been all over the place. In case you're wondering, the weather in Vegas is weird. It's the way it is. Take care. Until next week.